Right now at 6 o'clock, the political world is watching the Iowa caucus tonight, trying to determine what happens next in the GOP primary for president. With polls showing former President Donald Trump leading the caucuses, Florida and Georgia voters are left wondering if their votes will matter when the primaries come here in March.
However, on top of tonight's caucus, candidates, they've got another issue to worry about in Iowa, bitter cold. It's part of an Arctic blast affecting most U.S. states. Our News4JAX crews are covering the impacts of both the caucuses and the cold. First, we go to Scott Johnson. He's at the Supervisor of Elections office in Jacksonville with a look at if tonight's caucuses will impact whether voters in our states get a chance to cast a meaningful ballot in the primary.
Well, that's the big question. Will voters in Georgia or here in Florida, will their vote even matter? Because they don't vote for a while. Let's put it out on the screen when our primaries are. For Georgia, it's 2 months away, March 12th. The week after that is Florida, March 19th. Very unlikely your vote will really make a difference, but not impossible. We'll see. Let's first look at what could happen tonight. If polling is accurate, former President Trump is expected to win the Iowa caucus. The lingering question is, how will Governor DeSantis and Nikki Haley fare? News4JAX political analyst Rick Mullaney says it's critical for DeSantis to fare well in Iowa, whereas Haley is pushing for success in the second state, New Hampshire.
One of the real wild cards here is the momentum of Nikki Haley.
On DeSantis, Mullaney says if he comes in third in Iowa, it will be really hard to continue. But DeSantis is still sounding confident.
I think people are going to say there's only two possible nominees, Donald Trump or Governor DeSantis. We're the only ones that have strong support amongst bedrock Republican conservative voters.
But after that, there are a whole slew of states before Georgia and Florida vote in mid-March. If the votes in Florida and Georgia matter, it means some crazy stuff may have happened in this race to get to that point that it's still going on in 2 months.
If Florida and Georgia matter, it means the unexpected has happened. And by that I mean the unexpected, the rise of Nikki Haley, for example, or the rise of Governor DeSantis.
If you're a Democrat, you will likely simply cast a ballot for President Biden in March. He's received a couple challengers in Marianne Williamson and Congressman Dean Phillips, but neither have made any headway in mounting a serious challenge. Mullaney says unless Biden decides not to run again, the nomination is his. And as far as Governor DeSantis, one reason why Mullaney says he needs to do well tonight is to keep the funding coming into his campaign, because if he is third place and look like he's struggling, donors may stop giving to his campaign and the resources may dry up. We're live downtown. Scott Johnson, Channel 4, the local station.
So, Scott, you mentioned Trump, DeSantis, Haley, but what about Vivek Ramaswamy? What did Mulvaney have to say about whether he could be a factor?
Well, he thinks Ramaswamy could maybe be a factor tonight. Long term, probably not, because he's pulled a kind of a distant fourth. But he has done a lot of work in Iowa and could maybe make some headway tonight on getting more votes than people expect, meaning he could siphon votes away tonight, at least, from other candidates. Back to you.
All righty. Scott, joining us live tonight. Scott, thanks.